It's just Naruto in general.
Okay.
You know, one thing that bothers me a lot with Naruto is the whole Sakura's useless thing. Now, she's not okay, she's not the most reliable in battle at the start of the series. But even when she gets better throughout, people still call her useless. It's just some dumb meme train I think people jump on. And also, I want to make one more remark. Like, if Sakura was so useless, Naruto would have died many times. Like, what is your guys' thoughts on that whole thing?
It depends on your perspective of the series, but Kishimoto is really bad at writing women. Tsunade is probably the best written woman in the series, but she's also just kind of a weird character. But I would say that's the bigger problem. Like, if we're looking at actual characters that do nothing, it's like 10-10 or something. But I think for a main character, Sakura is very badly used. Because from the beginning of the series, she's just in love with Sasuke, and she's just not a good ninja in any, like, metric. Like, she's good at learning techniques in the book. That's the point of her character, is, like, the difference between book parts versus practical experience. And Naruto's the opposite, right? He's a guy who has no parts and he's got tons of practical experience. And then you have your gifted, like, savant who's good at both. But it's just, like, naturally. So, like, I would say, like, in the way Kishimoto intended, that they compare different things. The problem is that book parts are not at all important for Naruto for a large percentage of it. So Sakura's, like, is mostly, and she only, like, comes out as a useful member in First to Death, and then, like, a little bit after. But unfortunately, the entire epilogue also makes her do nothing, right? Because Naruto goes after Sasuke to fight Gaara, and then he goes after Sasuke. There's the Sasuke retrieval arc, and Sakura's not even in that. So it's just unfortunate that she's gone for so much of the series. Chipping it.
You know, like, okay, yeah, like I said before, I know she's definitely not the best, but I think just overall she is a good character, and she definitely becomes very good, like, much better, after her training with Tsunade and all, and she's had some very good accomplishments. Like, she, kept, I forgot his name all of a sudden. She kept, Tamari's brother, from dying. She, kept Naruto from dying. Yes, and she kept Naruto from dying when the Tailed Fox was expelled out of him, even when he turned back into a human after, he was reverted back from Nine-Tailed state. And what am I doing? She also defeated Sorcery. Yes, I understand she did have help from Chio, but at the same time, she was still manageable to defeat him. She even revealed, the place that they fought Sorcery. Without her strength, they would not have been able to get into there.
I think so. It's a difficult question. Like, as a writer, written pretty well. I don't complain about her writing much, because she's fine, all things considered. But I think if we're going by, like, why the meme exists, that she's useless or whatever, that primarily comes from the fact that she doesn't. So the actions she performs, she does fail at initially. Now in Shippuden, just fail a lot, but people's respect her fight against Sorcery, and then after that, they don't actually respect her. I actually think that it's rude. She's just randomly given enough power to fight Kagura at the end, which I agree is a bad beat, because it's like, just unbelievable. Like, none of the Kages have anywhere close to enough power to fight her, and we have, like, deified characters at that point that are capable of fighting her. They just say that Sakura can fight her. And if that argument is true, then Tsunade should be much, much, much stronger, because Tsunade holds her chakra in for way more time than Sakura does. Sakura at best had chakra for 2. Tsunade had stored her chakra for over 10. She activated it.
May I make one argument? I think you also got to keep in mind that for years, Tsunade also was using a large amount of chakra to try and keep a youthful appearance, which, in my opinion, kind of messed around with her chakra control.
I would agree that would matter, and have the fact that like there are other characters in the series that use far more annoying juices for longer, that like Orochimaru, and it clearly didn't affect his ability to fight the third.
That is
So
true.
I don't think his body transformation technique was much higher performance, and he was fine. And they're all Sonic. All the Sonics have extremely high stats.
Yeah.
So, like, argument with Sakura actually just has insane chakra gain over time, much higher than Tsunade. Like, that's cool. That would just be weird. Like, that should have been at least referenced, rather than, because she's not high chakra refill during the training arc. We're all running up the trees and stuff. She quits way before Sasuke and Naruto did. They're known for having more stamina than her.
Well, that's just because she was able to accomplish the goal of, trying to control the chakra in her feet so fast. She didn't necessarily quit, she just accomplished it so soon.
Yeah, but they also accomplished it pretty quick. Just trying to get better at it.
Yeah, but you realize it took them a while to be able to get to the top of the tree.
Sure, but that doesn't change the fact that she just gets tired faster than all of them in this. Incline us to believe she doesn't actually have high chakra. Chakra does have to do exactly with her life force, which is like a stated concept. Like, Sasuke has fought with chakra. He fought like the Kages at the Kage Summit with chakra, and then not only that, but his eyes were permanently active, which was killing him. Burn chakra at an insane rate. This is stated by Kakashi even 3 times skip. He said, hey, like if you keep using fireball jutsu, which you gain amount of chakra, or if you use Sharingan, you'll burn through your chakra really quick. That's a heavily stated fact that he burns through chakra really quick. I have a technique that's burning through chakra, but she passes out earlier in the fights than me.
Well, you do got a point on that. One thing I think that would have helped Sakura majorly with battles? This is gonna sound silly, maybe, but in a lot of fights, that she does, she has, as you've seen, incredible strength. But one thing that she does not have to help her, like, use that strength, or at least land a hit, is her speed. In my personal opinion, if she was able to, like, improve her speed or learn how to use her chakra to improve her movement speed and all, she could definitely, like, do much, much better in battle.
She could. I mean, her feats are worse than Rock Lee, and Rock Lee doesn't have chakra at all.
He does. He just can't use, jutsu.
Sure, but we clearly don't see him, like, having his legs or arms glow like her. But he moves faster than her by a lot, even, like, 3 times.
Man, I suck with this game right now. I'm listening, though.
Her main weakness as a character is, like, people's opinion of her performance is that she copies Tsunade and learns a bunch of Tsunade enhanced chakra punching arts, and so she's super strong, which is fine. That's a fine quirk. Character overall. The problem is that she just becomes kind of mini Tsunade, which is just a writing problem. Like, they blame the fact that Kishimoto is just giving her, like, copied Tsunade arts. And that's not to say that that's much better on any of the time skip. By the way, they all copy the Sanin. But this is like, you don't see Jiraiya spamming Shadow Clones or anything, so Naruto still gets his own style. And Chidori and all of the Chidori Spear, Chidori Wave, like all those techniques, allow Sasuke to be pretty unique. Compared to like Kakashi or compared to Orochimaru. Or the only like carryover from Orochimaru is that he has a sword, which you don't really get to see Orochimaru use much, so they just don't look the same using the weapons. And also he holds his sword in reverse grip, whereas like Orochimaru's is a Chinese broadsword, or on his tongue. So like they just fight totally, and we're like, oh okay, these characters are totally different. Problem with like Sakura's, none of her techniques appear to be techniques she herself came up with. They all seem to be hypnotics. Like oh, why doesn't she just have? I mean, she had better techniques, and this sounds crazy. In 3 time skip, where they gave her like the Sakura soul thing, and they gave her like the booby traps and stuff. That was a cool idea, but they threw it away.
You mean like when she was fighting the Sound Ninja, those booby traps?
Yeah, it's like that was a better version of Sakura, and also like I like the Sakura like inner Sakura thing. Where they completely like throw that out. Like not that they use it much anyway, but it looked like it was gonna mean something. Nothing with it. It would have been funny if she could actually create like a that had tangible force. Like a Susanoo or something?
Exactly. You know, I have always wondered about that. Like, just like the whole giant Sakura thing that you mentioned, like kind of like how you see in the like some of the Naruto games. They could have done something big with that. They could have went crazy and made that like her specialty kind of technique where she just, let's say, converts a lot of chakra into physical form. And she could have done a lot of damage with that in some battles.
Yeah, but I think what happened was Kishimoto got a lot of flack in Japan for copying Hunter x Hunter. So he started going away from those concepts to avoid the allegations he was stealing from it. Which he did steal from it a lot. And then they were like, hey, you gotta stop just robbing.
I never heard of that.
Well, they're like almost identical early on. So like Naruto's first arc is not the same as Hunter x Hunter's, but right after it's almost like a carbon copy. Where the Hunter x Hunter characters enter the Hunter exam, and then Nen is like a core concept of that series. And Hunter x Hunter is like 1998, but predates Naruto by a good amount of years. And then the Hunter x Hunter exams, and there's the Forest of Death in that as well. And then there's the scene where Gaara kills the ninja is a copy of the scene where Hisoka fights the assassin suit, jump him in the forest. And they almost say the same lines. And so it's like, well, okay, you gotta be careful, like, copying almost one-to-one. Different, Hunter x Hunter is also mature, as in, like, violent, right? Killua, like, removes the man's heart in one of the tuning exam. He holds it bag in front of him, and the guy's, like, holding his chest. And then he, like, puts it in his hand, and the guy dies. And it's like, that's ridiculous, but that's paralleled by the scene where Sasuke uses Chidori to stab somebody in the chest. Where it's like, okay, that's kind of trying to copy Killua, right? He's a assassin with lightning powers, like stabs people in the hand or whatever. So there's just a lot of usually it's like Kakashi's copying Killua. Both have white hair, they both have lightning powers.
Yeah, I can see that.
But like technique to Sasuke, okay. And then it's like, okay, no, I'm not saying that he's straight ripped, but I think you be cautious about it because and Sakura are kind of similar. Like I want to be a doctor. And Sakura's like, I'm a medical ninja. Okay. And then techniques like psychic attack, like energy attacks with range, like punch where he punches the ground and a giant fist comes out. And I think they were like, oh, can't just give her that. And we're like kind of one-to-one copying it. Like Kurapika is a character with special red eyes whose clan was murdered. And he's the only one left. Like even Kishimoto even said that he made Sasuke late.
Yeah.
So it's like,